Amira Evans. Curves. Confidence. Culture. Subscribe to Mira Model World right now, like, share, and pass this story to every woman who needs to hear it today. Because this is not just a biography. This is a blueprint. Amira Evans is 26 years old, and she has already lived a life that most people spend an entire lifetime trying to build. Born and raised in the United States, in one of those mid-sized cities where ambition either gets swallowed by circumstance or sharpened into something unstoppable, Amira grew up as the kind of girl who always felt like she was meant for more, not out of arrogance, but out of a deep, unquiet knowing that refused to leave her alone no matter how ordinary her surroundings tried to make her feel. She was raised in a Black American household full of warmth, music, good food, and the particular kind of love that working-class families pour into their children when money is tight but pride is abundant. Her mother was her first mirror, a strong, full-figured woman who moved through the world with her head high and her shoulders back, who never once apologized for the space she took up. Amira watched her mother closely. She absorbed everything. And somewhere in those early years of watching a woman refuse to be diminished, the foundation of everything Amira would one day become was quietly being laid. Growing up, Amira was what people kindly called a big girl. She developed curves early, hips that arrived ahead of schedule, a figure that made strangers look twice and made certain classmates cruel in the way that insecure adolescents often are. American schools in the 2000s and early 2010s were not gentle places for girls whose bodies did not resemble the ones on magazine covers or music videos. Amira navigated all of it, the comments, the comparisons, the subtle and not-so-subtle messaging from a culture obsessed with thinness that her body was somehow a problem requiring a solution. She was 12, 13, 14 years old and already being asked, in 1,000 different ways, to be less. She refused. By the time Amira was 16, something had shifted. She had found fashion, or perhaps fashion had found her. She began experimenting with style as a form of self-defense and self-declaration, putting together outfits that made her curves the centerpiece rather than something to be hidden or minimized. She thrifted, she layered, she mixed patterns and silhouettes with the instinctive confidence of someone who had decided, at a foundational level, that her body was the canvas and fashion was simply the paint. Her high school hallways became her first runway. She didn't know it yet, but she was already modeling. At 18, freshly graduated and restless with potential, Amira made a decision that would alter the trajectory of her entire life. She began submitting herself to open casting calls, reaching out to photographers on social media, and building a portfolio with nothing but a borrowed camera, natural light, and that extraordinary face. The industry she was trying to enter was not waiting for her with open arms. The early 2010s mainstream modeling world was still deeply committed to a single body type, and agencies that received Amira's submissions often responded with silence, or worse, with suggestions that she slim down and try again. She did not slim down. She did not try again on their terms. She redefined the terms entirely. At 19, Amira turned to Instagram with a clarity of purpose that most people her age couldn't articulate about anything. She understood, ahead of the curve, ahead of most of the industry, that social media was not a distraction from a modeling career. It was the modeling career. She began posting consistently, building an aesthetic that was unmistakably hers, rich colors, confident poses, styling that celebrated volume and shape, and captions that were raw, funny, vulnerable, and deeply intelligent by turns. She was not trying to look like anyone else. She was building the visual language of Amira Evans, one post at a time. The growth was not overnight. There were months of showing up to an audience of hundreds when she deserved an audience of millions. There were brand pitches that went unanswered, collaborations that fell through, and the particular loneliness of creating your best work and watching it disappear into the void of an indifferent algorithm. But Amira had inherited her mother's backbone, and she kept going. 20 years old, 21, 22, each year more refined, more confident, more strategically brilliant than the last. She studied content creation the way other young women studied for degrees. She understood engagement, storytelling, community building, and the invisible thread of trust that connects a creator to an audience that truly loves them. By the time she was 23, the world had caught up to what Amira already knew about herself. Brands began approaching her. Not the tentative, tokenistic curvy girl campaign inclusion that had become fashionable in corporate boardrooms, but genuine, sustained partnerships with fashion houses, beauty brands, and lifestyle companies that recognized her not as a diversity checkbox but as a powerful commercial force with a loyal, highly engaged community behind her. She collaborated with swimwear brands that had never featured a woman of her figure in their campaigns and watched their sales respond accordingly. She fronted clothing lines that had spent years ignoring plus-size consumers and brought those brands audiences they had never been able to reach before. She was 24 when she launched Mira Model World, and it was the most honest thing she had ever done. Not just a brand, not just a platform, but a declaration. Mira Model World was built on the radical premise that curvy women belong everywhere, on magazine covers and fashion runways, in luxury campaigns and high-concept editorials, in boardrooms and on brand mood boards and in every conversation about what beauty is and what it can be. She built it as the space she had always needed and never found, a place where full-figured women were not celebrated despite their curves but because of them. Now 26, Amira Evans is one of the most recognized curvy models and content creators in the United States, with an influence that stretches across continents. Her Instagram is a masterclass in intentional branding, every image, every caption, every story a deliberate and cohesive expression of a woman who knows exactly who she is and exactly what she stands for. Her community spans hundreds of thousands of women across America, the UK, Nigeria, the Caribbean, Australia, and beyond, women of every background who have found in Amira a reflection of their own beauty and a roadmap to their own confidence. But numbers have never been the point. The point has always been the woman who sees Amira's page at a low moment and decides not to cancel her plans because she feels too big. The point is the teenage girl who books her first modeling audition because she saw someone who looked like her doing it first. The point is the mother who finally stops apologizing to her daughter for having a curvy body, because Amira Evans made her see that body differently. That is the impact that no follower count can fully capture, and it is the one that Amira has always been building toward. She is 26 years old. She is American. She is curvy, brilliant, strategic, and unstoppable. And she is, by every meaningful measure, only just beginning.